Earlier this week, an Auditor-General report revealed massive losses at the city of Johannesburg, with billions disappearing through electricity theft, water leaks, and poor financial control. Business Day's Tara Roos joins us now to speak about the findings and what they mean for South Africa's biggest city. Welcome, Tara.
Thank you so much for having me.
What was the most alarming part about the Auditor-General's report?
The fact that the city of Joburg is in 9.5 billion rands worth of debt, and they have absolutely no money in order to fix that. The biggest and most alarming concern was that the infrastructure backlog is now at 200 billion. And we've seen that rising progression, particularly over the last 5 years. And we see this now in the background and context of that leaked letter sent to current Mayor Dada Moreira from Enoch Godongwana, Minister of Finance, saying that he believes that Dada Moreira is actually in violation of the Public Finance Management Act. And I think this is not a good sign for the city of Joburg.
How much of the 8.5 billion rand came from theft and illegal connections versus aging infrastructure?
So we saw majority of that 9.5 billion actually come from loss and theft. We're looking around 6 to 7 billion. And there just has been maintenance of City of Joburg assets and resources. When we look at particularly at the infrastructure backlog, it has been mounting over many, many, many years. And no one has been able to address it. And it's actually quite shocking and stark when we look at just the deterioration of governance that is currently happening in the city of Joburg. I mean, it is the economic capital of South Africa. It is also one of the economic capitals of the continent. And so to see the city just regress in the manner in which it has, and it is primarily from the Auditor General's report because of weak controls and weak oversight. There are no oversights over these key portfolios. And so it has led to massive amounts of loss, particularly through electricity and water.
In uncertain times, good information is priceless. The Biz News Conference is heading back to the Drakensberg. Join me, Alec Hogg, from the 11th to the 14th of August for BNC 9. Champagne Sports Resort, where it all began, and where our community gathers for honest conversations, smart investing insights, and direct access to some of South Africa's sharpest minds. Come and rub shoulders with the best we've got. 28 keynote speakers, 3 days. Seats are available now. Book your seat by clicking the link in the description.
So would you say that this is more of a poor governance issue rather than a service delivery issue?
Absolutely a poor governance issue. 1,000%. That was made extremely, extremely clear from the Auditor General report. And the Auditor General report reinforces the warning that comes from National Treasury that was received just this past Monday. And when we look at these weak controls within the city of Joburg, it is going into every aspect. I mean, the Auditor General only highlighted the losses through water and electricity, but we see this in the in the city of Joburg health portfolio. We see that in the education portfolio. So it's actually just leaking over into all aspects of governance of the city.
Has anyone been held accountable for the losses? Has there been any consequences so far?
They have not. In the Standing Committee of Public Accounts meeting that happened on Monday, they just received the report. It is the committee's intention to call Mayor Dada Moreira to come and testify before the committee, but he has many questions to answer for, and not just Dada Moreira. You know, we do need to go back and look at all previous mayors of the city of Joburg, particularly within the last 5 years, because that is really where we've seen this deterioration of governance. But that is going to be a highly anticipated appearance before Scopa. Is when Dada Moreira comes to account for the city of Joburg and its losses. But from what we've seen up until this point, he actually has no answers for us. He really adopts this blanket approach to say everything is fine, nothing is wrong, we have it under control. But this report makes it blindingly clear that he does not have it under control.
Start your day a step ahead. Biz News Insider. It delivers the business stories that matter every morning straight to your inbox. Sharp, fast, and free. Subscribe now.
What does all of this mean for businesses and residents in Joburg?
So, there's two key issues here. Those 9.5 billion rands of debt, one. Two, their budget is being overestimated. So they're spending more money than they actually have. And this puts the residents and businesses in a very precarious position. The city of Joburg, as we've seen, is experiencing things like power outages, water outages. And this is going to continue in the city until they're able to solve their debt crisis. And this is going to impact businesses heavily because of their inability to function properly. And it is going to cause, a thorn in the side of many residents in the city of Joburg who are going to experience more prolonged periods without water and without electricity.
And how do you think Joburg compares with other metros?
I think it's very unfair to compare Joburg with other metros because Joburg, in terms of its economy, is massive. All right, what was in Parks Tower was the mayor. He said you cannot compare Joburg and Cape Town because Cape Town has a spaza shop economy. And I think that is very true. But it is also quite concerning to see the fact that the economic hub of the country has been taken so for granted. When we just, and it also really does speak to the resilience of the residents of Joburg and the businesses of Joburg, the fact that they are still able to continue in such like the conditions in which the city is functioning astonishes me. That people are able to have this level of perseverance. But I do think that there needs to be grave intervention, particularly from national government, into the city of Joburg, because if Joburg collapses, South Africa collapses.
Healthcare matters, but what matters most?
Having cover for the people who keep this business going.
Bonitas is there for you when it counts. Bonitas, medical aid for South Africa. Visit bonitas.co.za and find your plan.
And beyond the headline, what do you think the biggest takeaway should be for South Africans from this report? What should we pay attention to most?
We need to pay attention to the fact that no one is stepping in and intervening into this massive debt crisis. I think it's very clear that, there are reasonable calls for the city of Joburg to be placed under administration. And I think that that is something that the government does need to take very seriously because it is evidently clear that no mayor thus far has been able to truly govern the city of Joburg.
I'm Kerry Lanigan for BizNews.com.